Hola, ¿cómo está YouTube? Today we'll be talking about how much does it cost to live in a shoebox in Detroit, Michigan compared to a tiny house in the Philippines. Tara na! Now you may ask, why is it important to know how much you spend in a month? Glad you asked. Here are 3 key questions this exercise will help you answer. First one is, are you spending more than what you earn? Then, how much can you save or invest in a month? And can you optimize your spending? Technically, is there a specific category in my spending that I can tweak around so I can save more? Or am I spending too much that abonado pa ako based on my salary? Then that's not good. What do I include in my budget spending, you may ask? For me, these are the categories I mostly look at and track for the whole month and for the whole year. This will be different for you, and this will be different for everyone. And the first one for me is the rent or house payment. This is usually the biggest one for everyone, especially if you live by yourself or starting your career right after college. But if you live with your parents, then this could be zero or minimal expense for you. The next one is your groceries and food. If you buy your daily sustenance and go to the grocery, buy meat, vegetables, then that goes to the groceries category. Then next will be transportation. Your daily commute to work, visiting relatives, taking jeepney, or you fill up your car with cash. So this goes to the transportation and gas category. Another big item is electricity. You gotta keep lights on. If it's hot, you gotta keep the AC running. Most of the time than not. You gotta charge your electronics, your computer, your cell phone, and that will be part of your electricity. The next one is the phone bill. Do you got a postpaid or do you buy prepaid load every month? Then that's for the phone bill. The next one is the internet bill. We all gotta have internet these days, especially if you work from home or your kids are doing online learning. Next will be water. I heard it's recommended for someone to shower at least once or twice a day. Next one is coffee. I call it out because I love my latte. I usually go to the coffee shop once or twice a week, especially on the weekend, to get a latte. Which I track this spending because it can go overboard. And next, we're gonna play The Price is Right. So you're gonna see here on the screen, it's comparison between the shoebox and the tiny house. This first column, second column. And your far left column, you're gonna see rent, groceries, transportation, electricity, the internet, phone bill, water, and coffee. So now for the first category, for housing, when I'm in my shoebox in Detroit, Michigan, my rent cost me about $1,220, which equates to about 61,000 Philippine peso, right? So to make the conversion straightforward, doing this calculation, I made it that $1 is equals to 50 pesos, right? But when I'm in the Philippines, in the tiny house, since I own the tiny house, or my dad and my mom owns it, I pay $0 or 0 pesos for that. And now for groceries, when I'm in the shoebox in Detroit, I spend about $200 or 10,000 pesos. But when I'm in the tiny house in the Philippines, I spend about $100 or 5,000 pesos a month. You got to put in consideration too, when I get the summary of this is we're still in lockdown, so I don't go out that much, I don't travel, and basically that's it. Now for the next one, for transportation and gas, when I'm in Detroit, I don't own a car. Most of the time, if I go grocery shopping, I order from Amazon or Whole Foods and get delivered. So since, as I've said, it's lockdown, I don't go anywhere. But when I'm in the Philippines, I drive around from the tiny house to my parents, so I usually fill up my truck with about $50 of gas, which equates to about 2,500 pesos. Now for electricity, when I'm in the ShoeBox, since electricity is part of the rent, I pay $0 for that. But when I'm in a tiny house, it costs me about $110 or about 5,500 pesos. Since I work at night when I'm at the tiny house, so I gotta get the AC running during the morning and the afternoons, since at the time I usually sleep, and I like it comfortable, about 70 degrees inside a tiny house. Then one big ticket item is the internet. In the ShoeBox, I pay $0 again, or 0 pesos, since internet is part of the rent too. It's one of the reasons I stay at this tiny place in downtown Detroit when I'm in the US. But in the Philippines, I'm paying about $50 or 2,500 pesos for my converged internet. Maybe that's way too much for everyone, but since I work from home and I work remotely, I grab the median speed with the static IP. So when I'm in the US, I spend about $60 on average. That's about 3,000 pesos for my phone bill. I'm on Google Fi. That's another conversation for a different video maybe. Then when I'm in the Philippines, I spend about $20 or 1,000 pesos doing prepaid load to my Philippine Globe number. Then on water, as I've said, this ShoeBox in Detroit is an all-inclusive brand, so for water I don't pay water too, it's $0. When I'm in the Philippines, I pay about $20 or 1,000 pesos. Depends how much I water the plants or the trees, or how much I water the yard. And the last category is coffee. When I'm in a ShoeBox in Detroit, Michigan, I usually spend more on coffee, since on the weekend I want to grab my latte on a Saturday or a Sunday, then sit somewhere and just enjoy the day reading or learning something new. When I'm in the Philippines, that's much less. I'm usually once a week. I still go to Starbucks and get a quick ice latte or ice calamari macchiato. Then the summary to that is, when I'm in Detroit, Michigan, my total expenses for the month is about $1,540, which is equivalent to about 77,000 pesos, right? And when I'm in the tiny house in the Philippines, I spend about $600, which costs about 30,000 pesos. So now you clearly see, if I plan it accordingly, I save some money when I'm in the tiny house, because I'm saving some money on the rent. That's about a difference of 47,000 pesos that I save in a month if I'm in the Philippines, which it's a great advantage of geographic arbitrage, right? So if you're earning dollars but spending some of your time in a year somewhere in Southeast Asia, that conversion rate is a bit higher than $1, which give you an advantage. If you're still with me at this point, thank you very much. I hope you earned some tips and tricks on how to track your expenses and eventually save money to invest or to save for the rainy days. Now, to answer the first 3 questions during the start of the video, the first question is, am I spending more than what I earn? The answer to that is no, since I'm spending about $1,600 a month and I still have a couple of hundreds to save or put to my investment account. Second is, how much do I plan on saving or investing in a month? With that said, I have about $200 to $400 a month going to my investment account and some of it going to my savings account. Now, the last question is there some way I can optimize or tweak my spending? As you can see, I love my coffee and I love buying latte, right? So if I really want to boost my savings rate, then I might need to lessen my trips to the coffee shop. Maybe I just go once a week or maybe even twice a month. That needs to be, that's something I need to ponder upon. Then to that point, if I eliminate the coffee, then I have save about $40 to $60 a month. Right? So now, here's a challenge to you. Write down your expenses, track it down, and I hope that helps you optimize your spending, track it, and eventually help you save money and invest it for your future self. Thank you. Until next time. Oh, forgot. If you like this video, then like it. If you love it, then subscribe. Until next time. This is Calma from my ShoeBox. Bye.